Okay, so originally I was supposed to work on this video a lot earlier compared to when I'm doing it now. It's like 7:48 as I'm recording the vocals for this. And I was stuck on Rec Room for like an hour. Yeah, 15 minutes was just me fucking looking around designing my character. And then the rest of the 45 was just me dicking around. I drew a fucking dick on a whiteboard. So yeah, guys, don't go to my dorm or else you're gonna see a dick on a whiteboard waiting for you. But in all seriousness, if you guys actually want to see like a Rec Room video, uh, comment that, I guess. I don't know. So one more thing before I start the story time. You guys may have noticed that I changed my profile picture. If you haven't, just take a look at my shitty art skills. Yeah, so I'm gonna have an announcement video later on tonight. And yeah, look out for that. It's coming out definitely tonight. I'm not gonna procrastinate on this one, guys. But anyways, without further ado, let's just get straight into the story time. And I think it's a pretty crazy one. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Today's story time takes place around a couple months ago, and I was with two friends. So Akuchi, if you guys have heard him before in the Deceit videos, and also Kaiser, the the fucking guy that does clips in the corner where no one's watching. No, I'm kidding. No disrespect, bro. But anyways, so yeah, two really good friends of mine, and on the weekend we had nothing to do, so we were just like, fuck it. We met up at my house and we were like, okay, let's go from there. We ended up settling on trying to go to an abandoned place. We were like, okay, this one looks good. Granted, it would be like around a 2 hour bike ride to get over there. And the only problem was I was on a skateboard and that doesn't really translate to that. So yeah, what ended up happening is by hour one, we were barely like a fourth of the way. And yeah, I was just kind of unmotivated. So were my friends, and we all agreed that we were just gonna head back to my place. And we're heading back to my place, right? And I like turned to my left, and there's this park, right? And I'm like, hey, I remember that park. That's the park that I basically learned how to skate in. It was kind of weird how I learned how to skate. I learned like my balance and shit at my grandma's house. Don't ask why my grandma's house. And I learned like speed and I guess taking a fall. I learned that at that park because I'd always go like on top of this like little hill thing and I'd always skate down it, but the only problem is there was a fucking fence like at the end bottom of the hill and there was like no turning like room. I'd basically like either fall off my board into the grass or like smack myself into the fence. And yeah, so I was just like, hey guys, let's go look over there. And they were like, oh, why? And I was like, oh, OG vibes, I guess. So we end up going there, right? And what ends up happening is we're looking around and shit, and I'm just like remembering all the good times, nostalgia flooding me, right? Yeah, I was just looking around the park, and what I ended up seeing piqued my interest. I saw like this little wooded path away from the park. I was like, hey guys, look at this. And Akuchi and Kaiser were like, oh, what? That's cool. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? We should go in there and explore it. They were kind of hesitant, and I could see why. So we were just gonna go in there, just take a quick peek, right? And yeah, so we went in there, and the first thing we saw, we weren't even like a few steps in, and there was like this little box slash bridge thing made out of entirely of wood pallets. And wood pallets, they look like this. And I'm gonna show off my artistic skills real quick again. The fucking bridge kind of looks like this. Perfect. I'm the next Leonardo da Vinci. But anyways, enough about my second grader drawing skills. Yeah, so it looked like that, and at that point, Azer was already out. He like basically tapped out of it. He's like, nah, man, that's sketch, and he just like stayed behind, right? Meanwhile, me and Akuchi, we jumped like the little. It was like a really small like river looking thing, maybe stream, and we just jumped that little gap. And from there, we just went forward. What ended up happening is we got around to the halfway mark of end of the trail thing. Akuchi, at that point, he tapped out as well. He was like, you know what, this is sketch. I'm fucking leaving. And I'm like, okay. At that point, it was just me, and I just like kept pushing forward because I'm just that guy, guys. What ended up happening is I made it to the end of it, and it was actually an abandoned golf course. I was like, holy fuck, jackpot. How the fuck did I never know about this? And I was starting to look around, and I was thinking it was a gold mine at first. I ended up seeing something, and it kind of discouraged me. I saw like a little homeless encampment, like, you know, the tent and like all the stuff scattered and all that. And I was just like, okay, yep, this is 100% sketch. I'm tapping out as well. So I ended up going back to Akuchi and Kaiser. And they were like, what'd you see over there? I was like, oh, I saw like a whole entire little abandoned golf course. And they were like, really? I was like, yeah, but it looks like someone lives there. So like, I suggest we bail. And they were like, yeah, want to go to your pool anyways. I'm like, all right, cool. Started going the little route to get back on the street. And we end up seeing this guy with two dogs, a husky and another one. I know, I'm very descriptive, but I don't know the exact breed, but I think it was a pit bull terrier, if I had to take like a wild guess. He was walking to the entrance, and I glanced at him for not even more than a fucking second, and he took that as like a sign to walk up to me for some conversation. Now, I'm a bit of a socially awkward person. It's kind of hard for me to like keep conversations and shit and like not look like a complete dumbass or like a dickhead, like trying to keep a conversation. So in general, I try to avoid like convos with randoms. Okay, that sounded really mean. I'm sorry. I mean more like strangers. That's the better word. I just proved my own point. Anyways, said something along the lines of like, hey, so have you seen my place? And I was like, nah. Because I didn't know how he was going to react if I actually did go. Would he be like, oh, did you fucking raid my shit? Fucking get his dog to fucking rip me to shreds. I'd become a toddler and his fucking dog would become Cupcake. But no, it was really lucky that it didn't happen because Akuchi didn't play along. He was like, oh yeah, we saw it. We were there for a bit. And I gave this guy a fucking desk there that the Grim Reaper would honestly be proud of. If he'd give me a pat on the back for that one. The homeless guy didn't actually see the mine, so that was all good. And we were just talking and continuing. We were just like on the topic about his like area. So how you like the bridge I made? I was like, I didn't go on it, but it looked sturdy. And he's like, yeah, it took some time to make. The conversation was pretty normal after that, to be honest. Except when we started talking about his dogs. We started talking about the pit bull. I'm just going to call it a pit bull. And he was talking about the pit bull, right? And this was crazy. He said, I'm trying to breed this dog into a fucking killer. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He was like, yeah, man. This pit bull here, it's already like killed 5 other dogs. That was my ringtone. That's on me. But anyways, he was like, yeah, so this guy's already a killer. And I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? And he was literally trying to make Cupcake and all the memes. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna wrap up the convo. So I started wrapping it up, you know, and he eventually ended it off on like, hey, you know what? If you guys like find people like trespassing in my area and you catch them for me and like make them go away, I'll hook you guys up with some weed. In my head, I was like, this guy's actually fucking insane. And I already knew that it was either gonna be hella laced with something or like straight like Reggie, like actually cut off a fucking bush, fucking like crumbled up. Oh yeah, here you go. There's some weed. Akuchi and me eventually left. Kaiser got mauled by the dog. No, I'm kidding. He was actually like standing like a lot further compared to us. And he didn't really talk at all because he was that far. So yeah, he basically got away with it. And we were just telling Kaiser what happened. He was like, holy shit, man. I was like, yeah. And I'm like, damn, this is gonna make for a good story. And honestly, I think it did. So yeah, don't offer strangers weed. Don't breed killing machines. I don't know. Anyways, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more story times like this. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I'm also going to be doing like more commentary, like actual commentary type shit, you know, looking at like crazy things that are happening, I guess. But yeah, guys, so this has been Carlos, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And yeah, peace.
I feel like Charlie Brown, except I ain't brown. Bitch, I'm green. This is the sound of a lottery machine.